What's up, guys? Today we're gonna be watching ISoToilet. Link will be down in the description if you want to see him. And we're gonna be watching his analysis on all G Squad members ranked, who was the strongest, Skibidi Toilet plot, and analysis. And if you're wondering, yes, I watched Skibidi Toilet, okay? I know the plot. I know what's happening. If you want to see 77, just tell me, okay? I'll watch it for the 5th time again, okay?
Hello, everyone. And today I want to go back to one of the most iconic characters in the entire Skibidi series, which is G-Man, who got some unbelievably strong upgrades by the 4th part of episode 77. But this video, in fact, is not about him, but about the members of his personal G-Squad, which are basically the most skilled, ruthless, and powerful Skibidi that he chose from his army. Because I feel like these guys and their strengths and unique abilities aren't talked about enough, so I'm here to correct it.
Really
and I will rank these guys in terms of their strength and also describe their powers and special abilities to you. Now get your tea and snacks ready and prepare to watch this video to the end because I saved the best member of G Squad for last. Let's go. And be sure to also give this video a like and subscribe to my channel where I make a lot of entertaining content while you are waiting for the full episode to get released. Okay, so if you are subscribed now, let's continue. And I would like to start my ranking with the least interesting member of G Squad in comparison to the others, in my opinion, but that doesn't mean that he's weak or that he's a bad character at all. He just looks a bit less fascinating in front of all the other members to me, and that's it. And I'm talking about the Police Skibidi Mutant, aka the SWAT Mutant, who is remarkable for wielding his iconic crescent blades referencing Puss in Boots' 2 Wolf villain. And he's most impressive for melee battles, as he's got not only the powerful weapons, but also the great armor protecting him from all types of incoming damage. But for the distanced enemies, he also got the 4 rocket launchers just in case, which adds to his general battle potential. During his first appearance, he preferred using just one crescent combined with the durable shield to protect himself more. But he rearranged himself a bit by the 2nd part of episode 77, where he discarded the shield and started using both crescents instead. But aside from his melee power, this guy stood out to Skibidi fans in terms of his personality, which was pretty intimidating to say the least. And he showed it off perfectly during his first appearance in episode 72, where he put up a pretty decent fight to Mach, a scientist, but ultimately lost to him in the end, who used his actual crescent to finish this mutant off.
It's crazy.
But of course, that didn't prevent this big spooky guy from re-entering the series, but this time being much more upgraded and even more confident. And to add more to it, we also got a bit of lore on him too, when we learned that he used to be a human soldier in the past, who presumably was a leader of the special military Alpha Hill Squad. But what's interesting is that he doesn't seem to be the leader in G Squad, and instead, this role is given to the Gym Mutant. And in general, I like this guy a lot. But I would also want that Boom would develop him even more if there's ever going to be a chance for it. Okay, and now let's move to the next G Squad member on my list.
What's Cameraman?
And it's the Rizsaw Mutant. Oh, I'm sorry, I meant Buzzsaw Mutant.
Oh my god.
But that actually wasn't a coincidence that I called him that. Because really this bro's crazy aura is the main thing that attracts not only viewers to him, but even Jimmy himself. Do you guys remember how both of them flirted in episode 71, which caused a lot of, questions in Skibidi Toilet fandom? Yeah, that was a pretty good time to be alive back then. But anyway, aside from the insane aura that this guy carries, he's also pretty damn good in combat and intimidating enemies.
It's crazy.
He appears to be much more dexterous in melee than the police mutant due to his body structure and the weapons he wears. The iconic buzzsaw that he always used seems pretty damn powerful
to me because
even though it's not huge or anything, it was capable of dealing a significant amount of damage each time. And this buzzsaw replacing his hand also reminds me of Titan Cameraman a lot, who loves switching different stolen weapons from both Skibidi and Astro Toilets like Lego.
He can't be doing that.
But Rizsaw Mutant upgraded the game even more when he got the laser cannon for his buzzsaw wielding arm, as well as the huge sick katana as his alternative melee weapon, which made him even more dangerous for both close and distanced opponents. And he's also got a pretty decent armor, including the helmet and sunglasses.
Headphones.
And it also seems to be that the helmet he wears since episode 77 was stolen from some Astro troop. and thus it's much more powerful than a regular Skibidi Toilets equipment.
How did he get
All
the
that makes him one of the
swords?
most diverse
The
and dexterous members
Energized
of the
swords, that's
G
crazy.
Squad. And to add to it, he is also pretty intelligent, just as the Gym Mutant, and he's speaking human language perfectly well. But to be honest, it's possible that the majority of elite Skibidi Toilets were always capable of speaking English, but they just hid this fact from the Alliance and preferred communicating in their own Skibidi language instead. And the next member of G Squad that I chose was a bit tricky, because it's Michael Jackson, which I put above both the Police Mutant and Rizsaw Mutant, although some people consider him weaker than them. But his first appearance in the series was so freaking iconic that I couldn't just brush it off. He really made history on the day he jump-scared us in episode 69, which is still one of the most memorable moments in the entire Skibidi Toilet series, in my opinion. So let's say I just gave him a couple of extra points for that. Okay, but aside from his aura, he's also pretty impressive as a battle companion. He was already pretty powerful in his initial form when he possessed a large number of different saws in his limbs. But he became even better when episode 77 occurred, and we saw his upgraded form, where he switched all of his saws into these energetically enhanced blades, which basically makes him one hell of a Razor helicopter, to say the least. So he's the perfect choice when someone has to be...
I get confused with the colors. Cause like, aren't Astro and Skibidi Toilet colors the same? And isn't Juggernaut an Astro, but his color is like red? But Speaker Man is red. So what kind? So what do you put the Juggernauts at? I mean, they're part of the Astro faction, but Juggernaut is his own kind of Astro. But you know, we're talking about G Squad, okay? Okay.
Be epically beheaded, for example. But I must point out that in size, he looks less epic than he seemed in episode 69, because now he has to work together with the other members of the G Squad who look pretty damn gigantic on their own. Plus, he may look smaller in comparison with several elite Astro Toilets as well, but that still doesn't make him less intimidating or cool personally. His main weakness, though, is that he doesn't really have a great ranged weapon like Rizsaw Mutant, for example, which limits his battle abilities to melee mainly. He's got 2 laser cannons on top of his toilet cistern, yeah, but they don't seem to be powerful enough to stun or eliminate even the regular Astro Toilet.
Yeah.
But let's still not forget the fact about his visual and sound impact. So I think Michael Jackson still deserves to be on this position in this list. Okay, and now I want to mention the Skibidi, which many people overlook while talking about G Squad, although formally he may be considered a part of it. And I'm talking about Skibidi Kleiner, who is actually a really important member of this squad.
Yeah, he's the
scientist
assistant.
So just as Skibidi Jackson, when he appeared for the
first
time
in
episode 68, and eliminated our buddy Big Cameraman in the blue shirt, I got pretty spooked as he looked pretty damn unhinged. But when Kleiner appeared again together with G-Man while sitting on his shoulder, it turned out that this guy is pretty small and doesn't have that much of a great equipment in comparison to other Skibidi from the squad. But he's a scientist, and he doesn't really belong on the battlefield on his own. But in the last part of episode 77, we saw the puppet of Skibidi Scientist again, and it's clear that someone is operating it again.
Yeah.
And I can bet that it's Skibidi Kleiner exactly who's sitting inside of it and helping his comrades.
Yeah.
And besides, I also think that Kleiner might possess some important knowledge that Skibidi Scientists could have shared with him as they worked together. And that's why I want to mention him as well and put him in this list. Now I want to say a few words about one of the most hyped Skibidi characters right now. And of course I'm talking about DJ Toilet. Man, this guy had one hell of a roller coaster fate. He was just a comedy gimmick at first in the earlier episodes, but then he attempted to have his epic comeback in the first part of episode 7.
To be honest, how did
huge new mecha body and weapons. But his reappearance lasted for a literal second, as he got literally parted with his new awesome body by Astro Detainer. And after that, we saw his little nugget body later leaving together with other Skibidi, all miserable and confused. But apparently G-Man couldn't leave this guy in the state like that, so DJ got his second chance to rebrand himself. And now DJ looks like a distant relative of Jimmy, as he's got complex body consisting of multiple speakers, a bunch of cannons, and a jetpack allowing him to move freely in air. Enter the world of Skibidi Toilet. He still carried his DJ tradition and saved himself a sick DJ set and his iconic cap. So I decided to place this guy quite high on this list, not only because he's overpowered as heck, but also due to his awesome and really entertaining personality. And I bet that Jimmy saved him just for the sake of it. And now let's talk about one of my forever favorite Skibidi characters, which is an upgraded Jim Bro mutant, or as some of you guys call him, the Berserker mutant. Although I already got used to my nickname that I gave him.
I don't remember anyone calling him that.
And long story short, this guy is insanely charismatic and got his own Riz just as the Buzzsaw mutant. But in contrast to him, the Jim Bro got more positive vibes while also being totally unhinged, which makes him even cooler. And at first, he was majorly carried by his aura rather than his battle abilities. Because in episode 73,
the only thing that I really upgraded was his lasers.
Aside from his melee physical power, and two big laser
the only thing he
cannons
got is a laser.
But when episode 77 came out, the guy got back with vengeance, and he showed us not only his new abilities, but also his cool personality. So now he's got some great pieces of armor protecting him from certain attacks, and his cannons also became enhanced with energy just as blades of all the other members of the G Squad.
If they make a movie, I don't know how it's gonna end up being.
Juggerson toilet, you know. And yeah, well, that's basically it. But our bro doesn't even need that many weapons because his physical power is still insane, and the large size also complements him in battle a lot. And just as the Rizsaw mutant, he's intelligent as hell and also speaks very sassy English when he wants to. And in general, I want to say that he's just a perfect pick for the leader role of the G Squad. Well, I mean at times when the main Skibidi commander is somewhere off. And speaking of which, of course...
Okay, if I'm being honest, how does Skibidi really turn into, like... At first, people were saying that it was brain rot, which it wasn't. And then we go to brain rot. And we go to brain rot to having fanboys and fan ears all over it. Like I'm telling you, people be simping over these characters. I tell you, even the boys be simping over the Skibidi boys. It's crazy. They even be simping for the
Of course, we've got one and only Jimmy himself to sit on the first place in my list based on both the battle power and
obviously he's gonna be your
and
first place.
To be honest with you guys, I've already made so many videos dedicated to G-Man and his evolution throughout Skibidi Toilet series that I'm not even sure whether I should repeat myself or not. So here's some links to my earlier videos about G-Man and my analysis of his power if you are interested to know everything about him. But for now, let me only spoke of the upgrades that he received in the very last episode. So he showed not only some epic upgrades that made him confident enough to battle Astro Juggernaut with no worries, but only hinted to his complicated past when he was a part of the Astro faction as well. All that makes him an incredibly powerful but also interesting character, and there still isn't really clear whether he'll be on our side or not. Even after so many episodes, he's still got something to surprise us with.
I mean, I think
and
he is on our
he's
side.
Just an excellent and really charismatic dude with his own secret plan, which we'll learn about one day. And he is not only the strongest member of the G Squad, but also one of the coolest and most
G-Man is teaming up with the Alliance
ever.
Now you
and
know
that
it's
was
true.
all for today. Write in the comments below about how excited you are to see the full
I
version
am
of episode
very
77.
excited. That'll be the end for this video. See y'all guys next time. Have a wonderful night or day whenever you're watching this, afternoon, whatever. Have a happy day. This is one of the ones. See you guys later, and peace out.